YouTube channel. It's always a pleasure to be in front of the best fans in the NFL. This show is nothing without the fans, and we have a Arizona Cardinals fan today. Let's welcome him. As you guys know, as you've seen in my stream, I welcome all NFL fans, no matter who you like, but especially in the NFC West. It's always good to hear from a opponent of us of the NFC West. But first, let's say what's up to the people in the chat before I bring on our special guest today, Storm Hockey. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Lyndon Wolf, he is a Cardinals fan. What's good? Welcome to Jay in the Bay. Niner Sickness, what's good? Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Luke Luna, what's good? He says, bang, bang, Niner game, the faithful Niner Empire. We're going to show these Cards fans how to ball this coming season. Niners all day. What's good? All right. Now, Lyndon Wolf is talking about his sons. Good luck to your sons this year, man. I think they'll probably win the championship as well. Rise up, Red Sea. I see you. Steven is a Titans fan. Thanks for coming through. What's good? Now let's bring in Mauro Tanaka, excellent Arizona Cardinals fan. Say what's up to the people, man. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, how you doing? This is Mauro Tanaka. I guess considered a super fan of Arizona Cardinals. So hopefully I don't embarrass everyone here, but I'm actually very excited. Thank you for having me here. And let's talk about this, great rivalry between us and obviously about this NFC West division and the Arizona Cardinals.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you coming through. It's always good to hear the perspective of another team, but it's even more special when it's the NFC West opponent because obviously we play each other twice a year. We know each other really well, so it's great to hear your perspective. Now, let's go back to the 2020 regular season for the Arizona Cardinals. Through the first 8 games, you guys were riding high. Y'all was looking good. Through the first 8 games, you guys were 5-3. You had notable wins against one of the best teams in the NFL, the 49ers. And then also you had a win, of course, against the Seattle Seahawks. But in the last 8 games, you won 3, you lost 5. Why do you think that happened? What happened?
It's an exciting season, but at the same time, and didn't end up as we wanted to make a playoffs. But I would say, injuries, but also the Cardinals seems like have like this little break or collapse after the bye week. So didn't go through, and we couldn't keep that momentum after we beat these strong teams who made a playoff, like Seattle, beat the Bills with an extreme fashion. So yeah, it just didn't work well. We didn't execute great and we weren't ready. I mean, it was a good time for beating big teams, but at the same time, it made us realize that we're not there yet. So there's a lot to talk about, and it was an exciting season for sure.
Yeah. No, the expectations definitely were high. Are you still a believer in Cliff Kingsbury? He's yet to get you guys to the playoffs.
That's hard because he's in a hot seat. There's a lot of questionable calls from him, but I do like that he brought this offense alive from one of the worst offense in 2018. Brought him in 2019, trying to almost top 10 offense. I believe we have top 3 total offensive total yards last year. So that's a huge improvement. However, against strong teams who have game plans, they just roll on us. So Kingsbury just have to make a great game plan, come up strong, make a calls at the correct time, and not give too much burden, stress on Kyler Murray because he's doing way a lot than we expect. So just execute, as everyone says, execute.
Yeah. No, yeah. And as you mentioned, Kingsbury is definitely on the hot seat. He's only been on the job. This will be his 3rd year, right, as the Cardinals head coach. So it could be a make or break year. But you guys are in the toughest division in the NFC West or in the NFL in general. So I'm intrigued to see how this plays out because I think all 4 teams have a legitimate shot at winning the NFC West. the first shout out to Payo Time. What's good? He says, hey, hardest working man in the StreamYard. I appreciate you coming through, Payo. But continue on, as you know, the 2020 regular season, I guess you say, was a disappointment for the Cardinals because you didn't get to the playoffs. What were some of your most pressing roster needs in the 2021 offseason?
Well, definitely a defensive side. You know, our defense wasn't the best in the division, especially we had a lot of injuries in defensive side, like Chandler Jones, Jordan Phillips, and the defensive tackle side. So it was not as best conditions. However, we saw like other players like coming up, like Dennis Gardeck, which was like a special teams. He came with it as a defensive tackle, have a great year. Ended up unfortunate with the injury. Who was it? Hassan Reddick, who thought was a bust, but in the 5th year, I believe, you know, become like a snub. Unfortunately, he went to the Panthers, but you know, he had a great year. So we needed someone in the defensive side show up. Obviously, we weren't healthy enough, but that's why we made a lot of dynamic moves that I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about a little later, right?
It's interesting that you mentioned the defense because we'll talk about this as well. But in the draft, you know, the Cardinals pretty much went all defense in the draft except for one player on offense at wide receiver. But we'll definitely get into that. What would you think were some of the Cardinals' key roster losses this offseason?
Well, you know, a lot of people like Patrick Peterson, our franchise cornerback. That was a huge loss, but age was there, and I think it didn't match. Like his production definitely, you know, decreased. So it's unfortunate, but a lot of people loved him. So that's a big one. Second thing is just like a couple players who really, you know, pushed through this season, like Hassan Reddick, who's like marvelous, like should have been Pro Bowl year, went to the Panthers. But we still have like Chandler Jones. We got like JJ Watt now on the other side. So I guess we had to like get rid of a couple guys. But Patrick Peterson, I think that's a different big one for the Arizona Cardinals.
About that, can you hear me? Okay, so yeah, no doubt, Patrick Peterson and Larry Fitzgerald, definitely two of the most, you know, impactful players of the Cardinals franchise, easily of the last decade. So it was definitely tough, I'm sure, from your guys' standpoint to see Patrick Peterson go. But I think PFF had him ranked as one of the worst cornerbacks in the NFL last year. I don't really remember him getting beat that much. Was he really that bad, or was it just a money thing? You guys didn't bring Pat Peterson back?
It is tough. I know he was trying to bring that hype, trying to bring like the comeback of this year, especially this is last season was a contract year, but just I guess didn't really work because I know he was one of dominant shutdown corners. Yeah. He got a lot of like call PIs, got burned a lot, so it seems like not enough for us anymore. And what he trying to like do, it didn't really match. So it's disappointing, but I think it was a time to let it go.
Time to let it go. Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I gotta say what's up first to Corey Davis. What's good? Thanks for coming into the stream. Niner Sickness. What's good? Thanks for coming in as well. I appreciate you guys coming through. Payo Time has a message for you, Mauro. He says, good to see you again. Payo Time has a question for you, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But I appreciate your feedback, Payo Time. And we got into the Cardinals roster losses. Now, what do you think? Who do you think was the most impactful free agent that you guys brought in?
Well, JJ, right? Probably most dominant from the name. I mean, he's definitely not in his prime, but the thing that I really wanted JJ Watt is the leadership that he brings in this team. This team is still young. There's still a lot of Fitzgerald. We're still not sure he's going to come back, which I believe he come back, but we need we need a leader in the defensive side of the team. And I believe JJ Watt is the one who brings this championship type of mentality, which can bring this Arizona Cardinals to championship caliber. So I want to see a surge in the mental side of the players. So JJ Watt is definitely a big one for me.
Yeah, there's no doubt. JJ Watt, he's a hell of a talent, hell of a player, easily of the last decade, one of the better defensive linemen. I guess the question I feel like a lot of people have is, what does he have left? And as you mentioned, he's probably not the all-pro defensive tackle he used to be, but we'll see what production he has. Now, what do you think about on the offensive side of the ball, you guys signing AJ Green?
That's a good one. I see like on Kyler Murray's Instagram, been working out with AJ Green, trying to create that connection, the chemistry. You know what we see from D-Hop, but rather than D-Hop, the second most like productive man was still Larry Fitzgerald, which it's still crazy. So we need a veteran and really like reliable secondary. And I think AJ Green can make a huge impact, especially he was a former 7-time Pro Bowl. So hopefully he can come back and make this, Cardinals offense more reliable and more, dangerous, not only just rely on DeAndre Hopkins itself. So very excited.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about AJ Green is, when he was with the Cincinnati Bengals, he was the number one wide receiver. The opposing team's best cornerback would always line up against AJ Green. And now that he's with the Cardinals, he'll be the number 2 wide receiver. So he won't be opposing the other team's best cornerback. So that is interesting. What does AJ Green have left? We know we've seen him deal with the foot injuries. Maybe a change of scenery would help him. But what do you think? Do you still think AJ Green can be a productive receiver at this point in his career?
Well, I believe we only got him for 1 year, so he definitely has to prove. He has to prove, it's a new place, new quarterback, refreshing. And he's definitely going to have a lot of shots during the game. So definitely, I want to see if definitely not his peak of his prime, but I want to see him, dominate, mossing like he used to do, like in the U.S. Pro Bowl. So be productive. We need a productive secondary. So that's what I really expect from a veteran like that.
No, I dig it. And shout out to Steven. So Steven obviously is a Tennessee Titans fan, and he says week 1 is going to be killer.
Game 1, man, Tennessee.
So we're gonna skip around a little bit. I'm gonna ask you a question. Cardinals game 1, regular season, fly down to Nashville, Tennessee. It's an early start time for you guys. It's 10 a.m. So what do you guys think about? What do you think about that? Your chances to go at Tennessee, start off the season with the win. What do you think?
I mean, there's no reason I want to say that the Cardinals will lose. However, you never underestimate a team. Week 1, first game of the season, definitely one of the toughest in the season. Never underestimate. So you can really not predict. We can do horrible. We can do great. We can come back the game. It's really unpredictable. So, get the dub will be perfect, but you can't. I mean, if we don't stop Derrick Henry, which is going to be a massive factor for Tennessee, especially on defensive side, then I'm pretty sure they're going to roll on us. So that's going to be a key factor right there. But I do believe the Cardinals will win, and I hope they do.
And I agree with what Niner Sickness says about JJ Watt. He can still be an impactful player, but he's not the all-time great. He used to be. I appreciate your comment, Niner Sickness. And yeah, you guys are going to have to hit the ground running. Week 1 at Tennessee. That's going to be an intriguing matchup with Julio Jones going over to the Tennessee Titans. I don't know how you feel, but I'm definitely glad that Julio Jones did not come to the NFC West because there were definitely rumors about that. And
that's Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad the Julio Jones saga is over. But I can't lie. I wish the Niners would have went after him more. But I'm definitely glad no other team in the NFC West picked him up. That's for sure. But so as I mentioned earlier in the stream, and the Cardinals definitely needed help, on defensively, and the GM made that really clear with his selections in this year's draft for the Arizona Cardinals by selecting, pretty much all their draft picks were defensive players except for one, which was a wide receiver in the 2nd round. And what are your thoughts on the Cardinals draft? Who do you think could be the most impactful this season?
Well, the Cardinals select back-to-back years linebacker, which kind of blew my mind in the beginning. I mean, I was like, why do we pick this man? However, later, looking at analysis and thinking about it, like not just drastically, just emotional from like why we pick this guy at the moment. I think it was a great pick, especially we did struggle on defensive side of the like last 2 seasons. So get more defensive, get stronger because a lot of sports, a lot of moments, defense wins game, defense wins championships. So Zaven Collins is definitely a dynamic guy, which are expecting to pair up with Isaiah Simmons with a great aggressive dynamic linebacker who has like a high physical skill sets and is very smart. So I hope that what was that game? Game one that Raheem Mostert burned Isaiah Simmons. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But someone that I really like is Rondale Moore, the wide receiver we got from Purdue. He's very buffed. He got physical, fast. He played big plays and big time like games. Like he had a prime time against Ohio State. So I want to see a productive secondary coming up because our young receivers need to step it up, not only rely on veterans. So these two are definitely I'm very excited and have a high expectations on it.
Okay. And shout out to CG Ruthless Sports. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. I got to read Luke's comment about JJ Watt. He says JJ Watt will give you consistency, but he's not going to give you nothing much higher than that. You move your corner who's aged to bring in aged JJ Watt. Niners going to torch that secondary. Man, what do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Well, that's very good. I mean, I want to see JJ Watt stay consistent. That's for sure. You know, you want to see like a productive and consistent player. I'm not expecting to have like, have almost 20 sacks.
Yeah.
But I want to see like from the left Chandler Jones, the right side, JJ Watt, like that consistent pressure to like try to mess up the quarterback. That's all I want to see in the defense. Like when in that line, like defensive line, we've been struggling a lot in recent years on that side. So I want to see that pressure, try to like get those sacks, be, humble and, hustle. So like boost that defensive line and the entire team. So start from defense. So not really, a crazy stats, but, defense first and then transition to offense. That's what I like to see.
No, that's a great point. And I think the Cardinals defensive line, your defensive line is formidable. And maybe JJ Watt may not get the sacks, but he could get pressures. And those are very important to get the quarterback, uneasy in the pocket. But going back to the draft, your first pick in the draft was Zaven Collins. Is he going to be used? Do you know if he's going to be utilized as a edge rusher, or will he be similar to Isaiah Simmons?
Well, what I heard, he's going to be paired up with Isaiah Simmons. So okay. I'm pretty sure he's going to be, in the zone, trying to look for, coverage and trying to tackle running backs. But since these two guys are very fast and, very physical, hopefully they'll be, eligible for like spine, because a lot now these quarterbacks are very fast. So
yeah.
And you guys have a fast running back, so they need to be smart. And this linebacker dude is going to be a key role. Probably was going to be mistakes. Probably you guys are going to roll us again, but you got to learn and perform. That's what I expect from them.
I dig it. Yeah, and Kyle Shanahan, he's definitely one of the best play callers in the NFL. One of the best. Like, he just knows how to create plays to get guys open, and I think he can definitely do that, especially against rookie players. But no doubt, I think the GM did an excellent job. I guess we'll see, but he definitely needed to draft defensive players, and that's definitely what the Cardinals did. I think that was a weakness last year. But I think the Cardinals, they drafted well, and we'll see how that plays out once game one starts against them Tennessee Titans. Now, speaking of defense, I heard about Chandler Jones. What's the deal with Chandler Jones? I heard that he did not participate in minicamp. I mean, Chandler Jones is supposed to be a veteran. He's supposed to be showing the young guys, how to be an NFL professional player. What's going on with Chandler?
Correct. I see a couple of rumors. At least he was there in the media day, which is, you're supposed to be there, like taking pictures and get money. But Well, I do believe he wants the contract. He definitely wants the money.
Yeah.
So I think he's trying to negotiating, because last year it ended up, unfortunately, he only had 1 or 2 sacks before getting injured. So still talking, and I'm pretty sure he'll be back by the training camp. If not, then we'll see like Aaron Rodgers type of situation.
Yeah. No, it's no doubt. Chandler Jones, for those that don't know, he's 31 years old. He's in the last year of his contract with the Arizona Cardinals. He currently has a cap hit of about $20 million. And I would imagine his salary right now is about $15 million. So I would imagine he doesn't want to get paid anything less, maybe more. But at 31 years old, Mauro, if you're the GM of the Arizona Cardinals, would you offer Chandler Jones a contract? And if so, how many years, money, all that good stuff?
I mean, the age is there. I'll give those are 2 choices that I probably could do. Either 2 years extension, or franchise it.
Yeah. No,
not long term.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't
at 31, at 31 years old, you don't want to give a edge rusher a long-term contract, that's for sure. And if I was in the Cardinals' shoes, I'll probably offer him, as you mentioned, like a 2-year deal. Looking at his stats last year, it didn't look like. Let me check it. Maybe I don't know if this is a typo. Okay, so he only played 5 games last year. Yeah. Okay, so he was hurt. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely, and he only had 1 sack last year. He played 5 games. This is a wrong time to to hold out, right? I mean, he's not striking while the iron is hot. But let's be real. Let's look at his stats. 2019, he had 19 sacks. 2018, he had 13 sacks. 2017, he had 17 sacks. He's been very productive with the Cardinals, and I'm eager to see, as a Niners fan, how this plays out. And you had mentioned earlier about Larry Fitzgerald. What's up with Fitz?
Well, I guess still trying to like think about it, because the more older he gets like tougher to like keep playing. Especially, he's definitely not a prime. He's definitely not his like top physical condition that he's had back in the days. But especially the fact that I think he's following the Phoenix Suns because he's a like minority stakeholder. And I think the more they're winning, I think it's definitely motivated him. So I think it's going to be a huge factor. And I do believe that they're going to give like 1 more year, like that's what they've been doing. But that's going to be a huge factor, like a mental side. It's like, if you want to, like, he's motivated enough to like keep playing, because it's going to be his 18th season if he gets another contract. So it's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, he's 37 years old. I guess you just have to wonder, how much does he have left? I mean, I don't think he would start on the offense at this point. I think it seems like he would be best 3rd down situations. You need a big catch, short yardage situations.
Never drops it.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got one.
He has more tackling than drops.
Exactly, right? Yeah. There's no doubt. One of the best probably the greatest Arizona Cardinal ever, probably, and definitely a shoe-in Hall of Famer. Jersey retired, all that good stuff. There's no doubt he's a hell of a talent. But let's go to CG Ruthless. He says, Mauro, how confident do you feel about the Cardinals? You think they're a playoff team this year?
Well, we're definitely comfortable. Just wishing not to get injured, obviously. But what we did the past 2-3 years, the process of rebuild has been phenomenal. Being aggressive in the offseason, trust the process. And I'm really liking it. Just we have to finish it, capitalize it this year, stay healthy, compete in this toughest division in the NFL. And I wish everyone step it up and execute as best they can and make a deep playoff run. And who knows, next Super Bowl is going to be not this one. The next Super Bowl is going to be here in Arizona. So we'll see some splash there. I want to see definitely a playoff run for sure.
I didn't know that about the Super Bowl. That's pretty exciting.
This season is going to be in LA, and next year is going to be here in AZ.
Wow, that's pretty cool because Tampa Bay, I believe last year they were the first team to host the Super Bowl and win it. So I'm sure the Cardinals fans definitely want that to come to fruition. And speaking of Cardinals fans, Lennon Wolf, the AZ Sports fan, I appreciate you coming through. He is a Arizona Cardinals fan and Phoenix Suns, as I mentioned before. Good luck to your Suns in the finals, and I appreciate you coming through to the stream. And as you mentioned, health is very key. And us 49er fans, we definitely know that from last year. We were getting hurt left and right. I feel that our biggest opponent is health. You know, I feel like we can compete definitely with any team in the league. And, you know, I can't wait till the start of the season. Let's see. Steven, the Titans fan, he has a comment. He says Cardinals defense is going to be dangerous with JJ Watt. Oh, yeah. And Malcolm Butler. What do you think about the Malcolm Butler signing? He used to be with the Titans, used to be with the Patriots. What do you think about Malcolm Butler?
Correct. Not fully confident, but we definitely need to fill up that cornerback chart since we lost Patrick Peterson. So Malcolm Butler was definitely a solid pick, especially he had like over 100 tackles, I believe, last season. Not a lot of interceptions, but definitely being aggressive in the defensive side. So I'd like to see that. However, I'm not quite sure if he's going to be the starter because we do have Byron Murphy Jr., who's definitely consistent and a very reliable cornerback now. So we'll see how it goes. But I like the signing to, you know, make that secondary and the, you know, starting the defensive back depth chart, not only rely too much heavily on Buda Baker.
No, that's very, very telling because Malcolm Butler, you lost Pat Peterson, a veteran, and then you gain another veteran in Malcolm Butler. So I could definitely see that signing. And maybe like he could be just like a stopgap 1 year, you know, 1 year deal, see how it goes. But, you know, he should be a solid player who's a veteran who's played the game many years. He's played at the highest level. He's a Super Bowl champion. Yeah. So that's definitely leadership that you were talking about. Exactly. He made an excellent play. Yeah. First, let's say what's good, Roberto. Thanks for coming into the stream, man. How you doing today? And looks like Payo time. He is confident in AJ Green. He says AJ Green can be a solid red zone wide receiver. What do you think about that?
Well, there you go. I mean, he does have the hands. I don't think he's the one who keeps dropping the ball. So we definitely need another threat on the red zone, not only relying on Fitz or Hop or like let Kyle Murray run option run every time because he did like 10 times. So not relying heavily. We need definitely more options to make this offense threat in the red zone, which is critical.
No, and that's something I didn't think about with AJ Green, but you can't teach height. And AJ Green, 6 feet 4 inches, he'll definitely be a problem, especially as Payo time mentioned in the red zone. So yeah, he could definitely pay off in that aspect for sure. And let's continue on. I wanted to talk about, now we know obviously 2020 season just passed. From the offense and defensive standpoint, which unit needs to improve in order to get to the playoffs this year? What do you think?
I'll say defense. Offense has been really improving in the past couple years, but defense, I'm not saying there hasn't improved. There obviously has been improved, but there has not been consistent. Obviously, coaching wasn't. It was one of the factors as well. So I definitely want to see defense. We've been aggressive in the defensive side on free agencies and drafts. So yeah, I mean, I want to see them to shut down and be aggressive, execute, and yeah, defense start first and get that championship. Hopefully.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. The defense definitely can be better. I think that's what can elevate this team is on the defensive side of the ball. Now, one player I just remembered who was a loss, who's no longer on the team, is Kenyon Drake. I believe he signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. What do you think about that? Do you think he'll be a loss? Have you guys signed another running back to replace him?
So we got James Conner from Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Pro Bowl, I remember, like in 2018.
Okay.
Kenyon Drake, he was a very solid running back, especially when he joined from was it Miami in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
He was phenomenal. You know, he had a game against Cleveland that he got 4 touchdowns. Great game. So he got franchise tagged. However, last year he only had 2 games like with over 100 yards. So if you want that money, he also did not hit 1,000 yards, and he had a lot of like situations that he couldn't break through 3rd and 1 situation, 3rd and short. So not fully his fault. Sometimes like offensive side line's fault, but he wasn't really reliable and productive that we expected. Even he wants the big contract, the big money. So it's unfortunate, but I like Chase Edmonds. Edmonds, I believe he's going to be the starter. He's a key factor on our offensive side. He's not the most dynamic, but he's definitely efficient when he's in the field. He can run and catch, not like Alvin Kamara type of level, but he's been improving. He's been consistently getting touchdowns, not every game, but when he's there, he's definitely productive. So I want to see that competitiveness between James Conner, and we'll see how this running back game works with Kyler Murray as well.
Yeah, James Conner came over from the Steelers. He had some productive years there, and it seemed like last year he kind of fell out of favor. I believe he was hurt. But sticking with the offense, you guys had kind of an underrated trade involving with the Las Vegas Raiders. You brought over center Rodney Hudson, who's definitely one of the best centers in the NFL. Do you think that's a significant upgrade for you guys? And how do you think he can help Kyler?
That's a big one because Kyler Murray, from my perspective, I don't think he fully trusts his offensive lines because I want to see him stay more in the pocket. And he actually claimed himself, he consider his leg as a luxury. So he mentioned that he want to be more in the pocket, as a true pocket quarterback. So I want to see that. So trusting your offensive line is definitely crucial for the quarterback since he got one of worst years in his rookie years, 48, sacks. Last year was last, but still has been not fully trust, and especially the offensive line seems to give up against our divisional opponents a lot. So that's a huge one because you guys have a crazy D line. Even Kyler Murray mentioned from News Reporter, who's the toughest defense to match up against the 49ers. He said, can I say all of D line? So yeah, it's that tough. So getting a Pro Bowl center and dominant center in the NFL is definitely crucial in the offensive side to protect.
And the Niners, we had to upgrade our center as well. We got Alex Mack. So a center is definitely very, you don't really hear about them a lot, but they're definitely important to the quarterback and the overall, offensive line for sure. Gotta say, what's good to Raymond Martinez Jr. Thanks for coming through to the stream. He wants to know who do you think that will be a breakout player for the Cardinals?
I want to say Isaiah Simmons, our linebacker.
Isaiah Simmons, okay.
He got burned from Raheem Mostert. He got rolled from Jeff Wilson. Not a great, first year, but he definitely had some highlights second on couple players. He got great interceptions, key winning interception against Seattle. So he's definitely showed some promise. So I want to see him, stay in the linebacker, not just utilizing a lot of players because we understand he's versatile, he's mobile, but want to use as a linebacker. So if we don't use it, then Jeff Wilson is going to roll us having 150 yards and 3 touchdowns like you guys did. So we need a strong linebacker to keep, this defense stabilize and control and be dominant. So Isaiah Simmons is definitely my pick for breakout year.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Isaiah Simmons, I believe in college at Clemson, he played, a lot of positions on defense. He definitely has all the tools. He's got the athleticism. He's got the speed. He's got the instincts. And I'm intrigued to see if he can put it all together and be one of the more dominant linebackers in the NFL. I want to give a shout out quick to Pale Time. He says he thinks the Cardinals could beat the Titans, but need to hog the ball and keep their D fresh. Very good point. I got to say, what's good? Tommy Huxley, thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Niners all day, giving his perspective on J.J. Watt. He says, J.J. Watt is a good addition for the Cards, who will bring a lot of leadership and still an amazing player and can be a teacher for the young guys. I think you hit on all points that Mauro was speaking of about leadership, and he can still be a talented player. He's just not the all-pro he used to be, but he can still bring production, I think. And I'm intrigued to see because our interior offensive line for the Niners, I think it's pretty good, but we're definitely going to be challenged when we go up against the Cards defensive line. That's for sure. What do you think is your biggest question mark on offense, if you have one?
I want to say coaching, but that's going to be general. But I'll say a usage of tight ends.
Tight ends, okay.
We did not utilize a lot of tight ends I mean, I'm not saying that we don't use it. Obviously, they use like block. They have like key momentums. And also we had a tight end named Dan Arnold, which is like phenomenal and like key momentums. But he's no longer with us. He's in the Panthers. So what are we going to do with the tight end? How are we going to utilize? Because, they're still our part of offense, so we cannot ignore them. We heavily utilize wide receivers, but I want to see we can use like tight ends like crucial like time, like also like use that massive size difference to make a matchup and dominant in the red zone as well.
So you're saying you wish you had one of the best tight ends in the NFL, George Kittle. That's what you're saying.
I don't know about that, but
who would you say? So who would you say is the best tight, or who would you say is the best tight end in the NFL? If it's not George Kittle, who do you think?
I mean, who else, right? You guys keep rolling us. Who else I have to say?
I mean, I've heard the conversation.
Andrews in the East Side, but we're in the West Coast right now.
Yeah. I've heard people say, Darren Waller for the Raiders. He's definitely pretty good. And there's no doubt Travis Kelce, he's been probably one of the best tight ends of the last decade for sure. But I think Kittle is definitely there. Of course, Niner fans, we're going to say Kittle is the best tight end in the NFL, of course. And I can't wait for that matchup. Isaiah Simmons or Budda Baker against Kittle. That's going to be
we have
exciting matchup.
Very heat rivalry around there.
Exactly. Let's see. Lennon Wolf is very confident about his Arizona Cardinals. He said, if we win the division, we'll be Super Bowl champs. All right. It's good to hear that you are confident. I like it,
wrong
man.
With that. You just believe the team.
I like it, man. CG Ruthless, I appreciate you coming through to the stream, man. Thanks for coming through. Let's see. Tommy does not agree with JJ Watt. He says JJ Watt is not the player he was, but he should be good on the Sharks. Okay. I appreciate your comments, Tommy. So let's see. So we talked about the biggest question mark on offense. You said it was a tight end. What do you think is the biggest question mark on defense?
I'll say cornerback. It's not, we let Patrick Peterson, which is definitely a big deal. Even he wasn't in prime. He wasn't, productive last year, but definitely at FX. So our cornerback is not really as stacked, especially we do have a Robert Offer, which we signed 3 years ago. He had experience. We won a Super Bowl, that 28-3, which, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yep.
Atlanta. He had like back-to-back years with injuries, so we never see him in action. So I want to see that. We got Malcolm Butler. We got young guys. We got a couple guys from the draft. But still little worry in the defensive backs, especially in the cornerback. So I'll pick up cornerback.
Yeah, and after looking at your depth chart, the defensive line looks good with Watt and Jones. The linebackers look solid with Golden, Simmons, and Collins. And then the cornerbacks, I mean, Budda Baker, he's definitely one of the best safeties in the NFL. But yeah, cornerbacks, there aren't, I guess there's no players who have established themselves as playmakers yet.
It's not a fully trust, but I cannot really predict what's going to happen.
Right.
So.
I mean, I always love to say a cornerback's best friend is a pass rush. If the pass rush can get to the quarterback, the corners can cover less, makes their job a lot easier. So I definitely see why, you guys picked up JJ Watt, and hopefully for you guys' sake, Chandler Jones has another, double-digit sack season. And Steven is talking about the Cardinals defense as well. He says the Cardinals need all the defensive help, especially since Matt Stafford entered the NFC West as the LA Rams quarterback. And don't forget Russell Wilson and Jimmy G. That's my quarterback. What do you think about Matt Stafford? Do you think Matt Stafford is an upgrade over Jared Goff?
That's hard. I mean, both players have goods and bads, but I'll pick Stafford. However, I don't think he's going to be a long-term because they give up too many first-round picks for those talented players in the recent years. So they're definitely trying to go back to the Super Bowl run. Yeah. But I mean, he's consistent. He makes a lot of plays. He's definitely underrated. I mean, Jared Goff, he was great, but at the same time, he definitely lost his confidence, and he was not as dynamic as after the Super Bowl loss. So he's still rolling us. Seems like we never beat the Rams, but it's gonna be scary since we play against Detroit every year, and most of the time we either struggle or finally we got a tie in 2019, but we lost again in last season. So it's tough, and it's familiar quarterback though, but it's tough. He's definitely feel a little bit fear because he's just so consistent.
Yeah. No, a lot of people talk about Matt Stafford. I believe he's definitely a prolific passer in this league. The one knock on him is that he doesn't have much playoff success, but I feel there's no doubt that Stafford is on the best team he's ever been in his career on both sides of the ball. And I think the Stafford and the Rams, they have a tough first 6 games, but I think they should, contend in the NFC West, and they definitely will be hard to beat in our division. That's for sure. And so the moment we've all been waiting for, Mr. Tanaka, what do you think will be the Cardinals' win-loss prediction for the upcoming season? How many wins? How many losses?
That's a big one. First of all, we want to make to the playoffs. That should be not the least. That's a normal. Yeah. We were 1 win shy. I mean, we could have just beat you guys in the week 16, and also the Rams, but we lost both. We lost hope. However, we got to get better. We got better, hopefully. We made some signings. That means we got to make the playoffs and be one of top in the NFC West. So I'll predict 11-6 because this time we got 17 games instead of 16. 11 wins, 6 losses. I'll say second place in the division and making a wild card. So who do you think is going to win the division? It's tough. It is tough to predict, but I think either you or Seahawks.
Okay. So you think the Rams will have the least wins in the division?
Well, we need to beat them though. but if you guys are healthy, you guys are championship team, so there's no doubt.
All right. Okay.
I don't know about Russ' situation, so
I dig it. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. As I mentioned before, I think all 4 teams will probably have double-digit wins in this division, and it's definitely the toughest division in the NFC or in the NFL. Period. So, who do you think is the toughest opponent in the NFC West, specifically for the Cardinals this upcoming season?
Seahawks.
Okay.
49ers are definitely tough one too, but Seahawks seems like we really play competitive, very competitive. It's an unpredictable match when we play against Seahawks. What was it? The Sunday night game, we won in overtime, which we thought we were gonna lose. We made it very good game at away, which was Thursday night. We lost that one. So if we don't get a sweep against Seattle, there's not gonna be a chance to get in the playoffs. So that's gonna be a big one because Seattle is I believe is the toughest one to beat because it's always consistent, more than 10 wins, top in the division. So that's a pain in the ass for sure.
Russell Wilson, since he was drafted with the Seahawks, he's been a pain in the NFC West, that's for sure. I believe they've gone to the playoffs every year. He's been the quarterback, I believe. So. And there's no doubt he is. I would say, I don't know how you feel, he's definitely the best quarterback in the division, and he's arguably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So he's definitely a problem. Niner Sickness had a question. He says the Cardinals secondary doesn't really scare anyone, and that's what we talked about before. He said, "What have you guys done to improve?"
Well, definitely veteran moves is one of them to teach, influence the young guys. But he's right. The wide receiver, we don't have a reliable secondary, relatively Hop and Fitz, and defensive side, what we went through. So it's tough, but we definitely want to see a surge, when we see a spark from these, stepping up guys. And not only from contracting, but, influence from the leadership, like JJ Watt from defensive side. So there's a lot of young guys that definitely need to prove, especially a couple of guys like receivers are in contract year. So this is going to be a key term.
Yeah, and I think you definitely want Malcolm Butler to be solid. He's not great, but I think he's solid. He can hold his own at that cornerback spot. I'm sure you also want Brian Murphy to, level up to another level. is this his third year in the league?
By Murphy?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's third. Yeah. So, he has to come into his own and be, pretty much he has to be the best cornerback, on the Cardinals. And if you get production out of him and Malcolm Butler, you guys should be okay. And sticking with defense, Raymond says Chandler Jones is one of the most underrated pass rushers. Yeah, he doesn't get talked about much, but if you look at the stats, he's definitely been an unbelievable force, at that edge rushing spot for the Cardinals. I'm intrigued to see if he'll be with the Cardinals the next few years.
We'll see.
Let's see. Niner Sickness had a question for you. He says, who introduced you to the Cardinals?
What do you mean, like how I started liking the Cardinals, I guess?
Yeah.
Well, this is a funny story because I was born and raised in Japan. I moved here like 4 years ago in Arizona, and I was just, normal highway, and suddenly I see this like dome, big looking UFO giant building, and you think, what in the world is this? And you find out it's like football stadium. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I like, I like sports in general. Never watched a football game, so I was like, give it a shot, and I watched it. First game, man, it was crazy. I mean, they stole my heart. A lot of entertainment, energy. It was 2018, definitely the worst years the Cardinals experienced. I know the 49ers have a tough year as well.
Yeah.
But started liking the energy, the entertainment, the physicality. It's different, another level. So that stole my heart, and support your home team, the Arizona Cardinals. So here I am.
Yeah. Welcome to America, man.
Thank you.
Good to see that you're here. And with the Cardinals, it's funny you mentioned that. You see this big dome on the side of a freeway, and you're like, "What's that?" And then you go experience a game. There's no doubt the NFL experience from sitting at home to going to a game is completely different. Obviously there's a lot of action, a lot of things going on. So that's a good story to hear. Because I didn't know that either. How you became an Arizona Cardinals fan. And do you like Arizona? You like living in Arizona?
I mean, it's hot. It's very hot. Every day is hot. So, I mean, obviously every place has goods and bads. Even I was born in Japan, there's goods and bads. But this desert hot. The city's hot. The sports is hot. So
hopefully you got to have working AC and you got to have a pool, right?
Hey, my AC already blew one, so there's that.
Oh man. So let's see. Steven says, well, the NFC West is going to be the division to talk about because anything can happen in the NFC West this year. I totally agree. It's definitely one of the
unpredictable.
Yeah, it definitely is unpredictable. Let's see. Just rolling through the comments. It's like Lennon Wolf is giving the red and gold some props. He says 49ers seem like a healthy defense like us. Yes. I think, if we're healthy, we're definitely one of the best teams in the NFC West. And I feel like, exactly. Yeah. Bosa, he tore the ACL. That's true. No, that is true. I think mobile quarterbacks give the 49ers fits. That's why we usually struggle against, Russell Wilson, and we have struggled against Kyler Murray. But yeah, they definitely give us fits. And I feel like we have, hopefully our future Russell Wilson and Trey area. So what did you think about when the Niners traded up to the number 3 pick and drafted Trey Lance?
Trey Lance. Well, I know you guys are excited getting a new QB because that's Jimmy G's in hot seat. I don't know if you guys think that way, but bringing a new guy definitely brings a competitiveness in the quarterback seat. He's very dynamic. He definitely did not play in a collegiate level. I believe he played for the FCS, not the FBS, was it?
Right.
So but you cannot predict, like Josh Allen, he didn't play like big division, but look at him. They keep like 2 years, keep growing. His first year was horrible. Yeah. But keep growing, and he ended up with second in MVP voting. So, I mean, these quarterbacks are very dynamic, especially historically. The Cardinals are not very good against like new QBs. So, like last year, we lost against Miami 2-up, which was like second or third NFL star. Previous year of that, it was Kyle Allen when he was in the Panthers. He rolling us, had like Pro Bowl, like 4 touchdowns games. So it's hard. So if you guys put Trey Lance, it's going to be a headache for sure.
And it's interesting you mentioned the Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bills. That's an interesting dynamic because he came from, he didn't play at a big school.
Yeah,
He didn't play against he didn't play against the best players. So it took him a few years to transition. Now you have a section of, 49er fans who, get rid of Jimmy G, put Trey Lance in, let him start from the jump. But, my opinion, I know you didn't ask for it, but my opinion is we keep Jimmy G. We allow Trey Lance to learn the playbook, get comfortable to the NFL speed, get comfortable reading defenses because it's, Trey Lance, he looks good in t-shirt and shorts, just throwing the ball. Everyone looks good doing that, right? But what do you do when you have Chandler Jones on the right, JJ Watt on the left coming at you? You got to read the defense.
That's
you got
tough.
like 4 seconds to get rid of the ball. So that's why I can't wait. I don't know about you. I'm excited for preseason because we have a lot of young talent, and I can't wait to see, how the rookies play. And, hopefully Jimmy G starts the whole season, gets us to the playoffs, and Trey will be our starter next year. So, and I think that would be great competition within the division. You'd have Stafford, Lance, Murray, and Wilson. That would be 4 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, I think.
That's tough.
But forget my rant. Let's continue on with the comments. Whose house? Rams house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. As I told you, Mauro, in the beginning, I welcome all fans, don't matter who you're a fan of, but especially the Rams fans. This is the second Rams fan that has entered the chat, so I appreciate you coming through.
Icon?
That looks like it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Robert Woods. Right. So, and I gotta say, what's good to Jay? What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Now, going back to your Cardinals, are you a fan of PFF, Pro Football Focus?
I mean, I do follow, but if I'm a fan, I don't know.
Okay, but you are aware of Pro Football Focus. They rate the players and all that good stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
So they ranked, PFF ranked, let's see, let me pull this up. They ranked Kyler Murray number 15 out of the 25 best players in the NFL under the age 25. Do you agree with that? Do you think it should be higher? Lower?
I would like to disagree that. That's tough. Under age of 25.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up. Let's see who is ranked ahead of him.
That is tough. I think number was Mahomes, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mahomes is definitely number 1. Yeah. Mahomes is definitely number 1.
15. Whoo.
25 best players.
It's not all NFL because it's under age of 25, right?
Yeah, under age of 25. Yeah. So I'm pulling up the list right now. So let's see. Actually, number 1 is Fred Warner. Oh yeah, because Mahomes is probably older than 25. So number 1, Fred Warner, the best linebacker in the NFL for your red and gold. Number 2 is Lamar Jackson. 3, AJ Brown. 4, Nick Bosa. And then they got Chase Young on here, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, and then at 15 is Kyler Murray. I mean,
damn.
I think he should be above CeeDee Lamb, who's 13.
Wow. I mean, that was his teammate in Oklahoma, but man, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say top 5 because definitely there's better players than him because but it's quarterback. Like quarterback, it's tough. It's definitely like the toughest position in NFL. So I mean, I'm not saying I want his number 1. Obviously, be realistic. Yeah. Top 5 probably, but top 10 has to be like 15. Yeah. That is tough. That is tough to hear.
Now, if they ranked the best quarterbacks under 25, he would be number. I believe he would be number. Let's see. He would be number 2. Behind Lamar Jackson. So if you look at it like that, well, he's right behind Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has had playoff success. He's been to the playoffs more frequently.
MVP, so I'm not going to say Kyler's better than Lamar. So
yeah, I'm surprised. They have Justin Herbert, the quarterback for the Chargers, who won the Rookie of the Year last year. They have him behind Kyler, that's interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, and going back to the PFF, there's another ranking. They have Kyler Murray as the 17th best quarterback in the NFL. What do you think about that?
That's tough. I mean, he went to the Pro Bowl. I understand there's debate why it wasn't Tom Brady. I mean, well, he was one of like early MVP candidates. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say he's gonna be top 10 quite there yet because he's definitely need to improve. This is still second year. He didn't win MVP like Lamar Jackson, but he definitely deserves more respect and from this rank. So I'll say 12, 13 should be fair.
Yeah.
I think top 10 is not there yet because there's
Yeah.
great guys who made a lot of achievement more than Kyler Murray out there. So you got to give respect for that.
Yeah, I think if he's got to have a little bit more playoff success. That's what I would say. Once he gets into the playoffs, I think he'll definitely go up in those rankings. But let me continue on with these comments. I said what's up to Jay. I think Harden 54 had an excellent question. She said, or they said, who do you think, or what would you rank Kyler Murray as far as best quarterbacks in the NFC West? So where would you rank Kyler Murray in best quarterbacks in the NFC West?
Damn. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I did have a debate with this fan before, like who picked Kyler Murray over Russ, but I obviously picked Russ because he won the Super Bowl. He made a lot of achievements. He's definitely going to be a Hall of Fame, but Kyler Murray is still young. There's a lot to come for sure. He's definitely our franchise. He's definitely the guy. For now, I think he's definitely in the bottom of the list in this tough division because he just started. He's still 23 years old. He still started. It's going to be his third year. I'm expecting huge surge, so I'm going to pick him as a last in the division, but we'll see. That might change next season, in the beginning of next season.
Yeah. I think, it's debatable between, I think Russell's at the top. I guess you would put Stafford ahead of Kyler. I know Kyler is more dynamic. He can do more with his legs. He can extend plays more often than Stafford. And then I guess you would put Jimmy G. So I guess, Jimmy G and Kyler will probably be at the bottom, but I think the sky is the limit for Kyler. And I think he'll continue to get better. And going back to that tight end argument, what's good? Thanks for tuning in, Stud. He says Kittle was the best all-around tight end, no doubt. I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you. Shout out to Niner Sickness. What's good? Can't wait for football season, man. I can't wait. I'm on pins and needles, man. Jay, he says the winner of the NFC West will be the 49ers. I hope you are right.
I don't think we're going to win.
Right. I respect your opinion, man. So 2 more questions for you. One of them was about DeAndre Hopkins. There's no doubt he's one. I believe he's top 2, top 3 best wide receivers in the NFL. He definitely gave us fits last year. But PFF ranked him. They ranked him as the 17th best NFL player out of the entire NFL. What do you think about that?
Definitely should be higher. Top 10 is going to be tough because there's a lot of skillful player. There's a lot out there, but I definitely want to see top 15. I mean, he's definitely like top 3 wide receivers.
Yeah,
that's for sure for a current NFL. So it is tough to see these kind of rankings, but hopefully these type of rankings motivate and make them wrong because he made a dynamic play. He made it it was an awesome year for him.
No, I agree. No, I agree. There's no doubt D-Hop, he's one of the most talented wide receivers. Here's the top 5. They got 1, Aaron Donald, 2, Pat Mahomes, 3, Travis Kelce. He's ranked kind of high. I know Travis Kelce's a beast, but number 3 overall player, that's kind of high for me. Number 4 is Quentin Nelson. Number 5, Devontae Adams. That rounds out your top 5. Okay. Yeah, I would think DeAndre, he should be able to get into that top 10, I think.
Yeah.
But, I respect PFF. I understand what they do. But let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, here's a great question. Let's see. Stud says for Tanaka, over or under, Kyler Murray throws 25 touchdowns this year.
More. I want more.
Okay. You want more?
I mean, if you combine, well, that's throwing. I believe he had 26 touchdowns last year, which is 6 more than previous season. But he had like 11, I believe, a rushing touchdown, which was phenomenal.
Wow.
So almost 40 touchdowns combined. Great, like over 4,000 total yards. Very dynamic. Hope the only thing I worry about is definitely just take care of the ball a little bit because he had some unnecessary turnovers.
Yeah.
So, but I would definitely say I want to say 30. I want to definitely see 30 because he wants to stay more in the pocket. So definitely he needs to throw more. And obviously there's receivers dropping the pass. So I want to see 30 for sure.
And I'm sure I speak for all opposing defenses when I say we want Kyler Murray in the pocket. We want him to be. We don't want him running outside the pocket. We don't want him extending plays, extending more time for the wide receivers to get open. We definitely don't want that. So, yeah, Kyler, stay in the pocket, man. We would appreciate that. But, yeah, I think Kyler could throw for over 25 touchdown passes. And total, I think he could probably have at least 30 because he's going to have some touchdowns where he's going to run because he's so dynamic. Matt Navarro, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Appreciate you coming through. Let's see. Where can people find you on social media?
Well, if it's in YouTube, if you do like Arizona Cardinals game day vlog, you'll find me a lot. But I'm pretty consistent in Instagram. So like sneak peeks and all that stuff, like photo shoot. Like I'm a technical photographer as well. So Photoshop, Instagram, YouTube. I have vacation, so I'm not consistently in YouTube for like 2 weeks right now. But after especially visiting Tampa where the Cardinals lost, so Super Bowl. But I'm trying to be consistent more. Training camp is right there. Once it starts, it's gonna be buzzing. So when the season starts, it's gonna be busy for sure.
Cool. So people can check you out. IG, YouTube. Do you have Twitter?
I mean, I do have Twitter, but it's more like personal. I do have Twitch, but that's where I'm playing game with my friends, like Warzone stuff. So
Warzone is that a game you like to play most? Warzone?
It's not like that, but I like playing with my friends. So
playing friends, online game, and that's dope. Quick question or quick comment by Jay. He said, "When did this Trey Lance need to start from day one?" Man, ESPN must be high. A lot of not only ESPN, but fans are saying this, Jay, that Trey Lance should start from day one.
Is that preseason counts?
Exactly right. Yeah, let him start some preseason games. I feel if Trey Lance starts multiple games in the season, it should be because he beat out Jimmy G training camp in preseason. If he beats out Jimmy G, he proves to be the better quarterback. He puts the Niners in position to win, then go ahead. Trey Lance, you deserve the starting spot, but I don't think they should just push Jimmy out the door and allow a rookie to start. I just, I don't agree with that. I
mean, the way like Miami did is a good example.
Right.
Let Fitzpatrick play a couple games and, and then put Tua until the end of the season.
That's a great point because the team definitely looked better on offense with Fitz. There's no doubt about it. I'm not sure why they put Tua in. It's probably from upstairs saying, "Hey,
probably
exactly." And
Tua was benched for purpose, right? So you guys did the same,
right? And Tua was benched a few times during last season. And if you have a quarterback who's playing well, I can see if Fitzpatrick was turning over the ball, the team was losing, then go ahead, put Tua in. But it was the exact opposite, and hopefully that doesn't happen with the Niners. If Jimmy G's winning. We have a winning record. He's playing well. There's no need to put Trey Lance in. Yeah, you stay with the hot hand. 49ers Ultimate Report. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. He says, "Sup, Jay? Just hopped on. Let your guests know I'm not scared of the Cardinals. Niners." Oh man, that's right.
I like the compliment.
I appreciate your comments, 49er Ultra Report. He also isn't a big fan of Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, I do agree on that.
Oh man, that's funny. Matt Navarro. So I'm not sure if you saw this video that's been going around on IG. Kyle Shanahan, he's on vacation. He's hanging out with the former player Joe Staley. And Kyle Shanahan, he's standing on the rooftop and then he throws a football. Have you seen that video? Everyone's been talking about that.
Probably not, but I'll check it out later for sure.
Okay. But yeah, it's not much to see, but that's what Matt Navarro is referencing here when he says Kyle Shanahan should be our starting quarterback.
Okay, gotcha.
That's funny. Man, I appreciate everyone commenting. Make sure you leave a like on the video. Also, give Mr. Tanaka a subscribe on his YouTube channel. Check out his IG. I would really appreciate it. I'm still going to scroll through the comments. Let's see. Stud has an interesting comment. He says, do Cardinals fans have a problem that Kyler Murray is vertically challenged?
What do you mean specific vertically challenged?
Like, he's meaning that he's short. Yeah.
Well, that's a good one. Definitely size matters a lot, but he does change this game on NFL when he's in the field. So, I mean, there's plays that when he throws and the lineman just like put the hand up. So I see a couple of that and make an incompletion, but he's definitely will learn from that. Execute. But yeah, for now, I don't think that should be a problem because I don't see anyone having a problem with that. So. I mean, that's a meme for sure that he's short, but
I mean, I think he's played well. He just has to put together a full season because if you guys had you started 5-3 the first 8 games, and if you would have had the same record for the last 8 games, you guys would have been a playoff team. So, it just comes down to sometimes 1 game or 2 games or a play. So, but I think he's played well so far. Luke Luna, excellent comment. I agree with you. He says, I know they obviously want ratings, but it's stupid. Jimmy's the guy, and you want him to play lights out so we can get draft capital. Plus, you want Jimmy to get his best opportunity as well after us. I definitely agree with that, Jay. Monica, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. I appreciate you coming through. Let's see, Luke. Luke has a comment. I think Kyler is better than Lamar. With or without MVP, Lamar can't throw the football, and Kyler can cook on the feet as well. Interesting. You think that? You think Kyler's better than Lamar Jackson?
We just talk about stats. The next gen stats?
Refresh my memory.
Yeah, it's like NFL next gen stats called. It's like those like small stats we're talking about. They had this on ESPN. I think they say like Kyler Murray is like most explosive like NFL, but not quarterback, like player. And a lot of people was saying like, you're wrong, Lamar is better. But that's like stats wise. I'm not saying like Kyler Murray is very fast and explosive. Lamar is like quickness, elusiveness, and running. So that's why I describe, throw wise, Kyler's better. There's no doubt with that because Lamar runs more. He's like over 1,000 yards, like back-to-back years, I believe. Yeah. So there's that. But it's tough. If you win the MVP, then you deserve the credit, deserve respect. So at the point, it's hard because both players have high and lows. But as a quarterback, I would like to, it's my QB, Kyler Murray. I would like to pick him as better than Lamar, but you cannot forget the fact that, Lamar has achievement more than Kyler Murray. So I'll pick Lamar, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Lamar Jackson has had more success, in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson has won an MVP. I think the fans just want to see Lamar dominate the playoffs like he does the regular season, but I don't know if he's going to do that. You only have the best teams in the playoffs. So, but there's no doubt. Jackson, he's definitely, I would give him an edge over Kyler Murray. But I appreciate you coming on with me today. I think we got, let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report says Lamar Jackson is a guy that wins over stats, but Murray is a better pocket passer. That's true. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But I enjoyed having you on the show today, Mauro Tanaka.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you.
I'm definitely looking forward to the season. In the NFC West, it's going to be crazy matchups. And have
Week 5,
fun.
Right?
Say it again.
Week 5, right?
Week 5, yeah, Week 5. I definitely can't wait. I'm definitely looking forward to having you on the Jay in the Bay show again. I can't wait.
Absolutely.
Good luck
I
to
can be
your
in the preview, so
exactly. Yeah. Good luck to your Cardinals this year.
Thank you. You too.
And what are your final thoughts on the Arizona Cardinals? I know you mentioned their record. What do you think they'll do in the playoffs?
Just, win. I mean, historically, for some reason, we never lost a playoff game at our home, which doesn't make any sense, but looks like that is true. So, yeah, I mean, try to get that home advantage. Who knows? Maybe we can win the NFC West. Who knows? But I want to see it competitive. A lot of people like this divisional. You pay to watch the player to win. You root for the team to win. So yeah, I would definitely want to see a high competitive game this season, and we'll see in the playoff if we can match up in a wild card or division round.
I'm looking forward to it. Once again, if you guys make sure you follow this gentleman, Mr. Tanaka, on IG. Check out his YouTube. After the video, the live stream finishes, I'll leave a link in the description where you can find his YouTube. Excellent content creator. And I'm glad we've made this connection, and I'm looking forward to the next time we chat about the good old red and gold, and of course your Arizona Cardinals.
Larry boy.
All right, man. You have a good rest of your week. Try to stay cool out there in Arizona, man.
I don't know about that.
All right, man. You take it easy.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All righty. Well, that was excellent to have on, a super fan, Arizona Cardinals fan. It's great to make that connection. Now, the next fan base that I will talk to will be the LA Rams. That'll happen sometime this month, so you guys can definitely stay tuned to that. And Mr. Tanaka was excellent. I'm glad I had him on. I can't wait till we connect again during the regular season. But let's see. Monica says Niners. That's right, all day. And looks like she gives her prediction for the division. She says 2021 division winner odds, Niners, Rams, Seahawks, and Cards. Okay. I respect that. I see that. Yeah, I think the Niners, I think it'll be, honestly, the top three will probably be Niners, Rams, and Seahawks. I think most likely. I think we have an advantage because we've been to the playoffs. We've been to the Super Bowl with our current coaches, and the Cardinals can't say that yet. But the Cardinals definitely are going to be tough. They're going to be a tough opponent. There's no doubt about that. There's not going to be any game, no easy game in our division. Appreciate you coming through, man. I can't wait to do it next time. Let's see. Jay says he has a picture of the one and only Justice Smith, the Cowboy. All right, man. Definitely, no doubt, Justice Smith with him and Alden Smith, definitely they were a formidable tandem on our defensive line. I like it, though. That's a good picture, Jay. I like it. I agree. I like it. I appreciate everyone coming through. I appreciate all the comments. I know I couldn't read all the comments, but I wanted to keep it strictly to what we were talking about. I hope you guys understand that. And I'm most likely, let's see, today is Wednesday. Yeah, I'll most likely have another stream, maybe Saturday night. Maybe I'll do a hangout with Jay in the Bay on Saturday night. What do you guys think about that? And then we could talk about the 49ers. I got an idea for a show. But I appreciate everyone rocking with me. Shout out to everyone on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. Shout out to everyone on Jay in the Bay. I appreciate everyone liking the video, also subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't, check your boy out, IG, Twitter. And let's see. Tommy says Cardinals suck. Hey, man, they will not be an easy opponent. I'm telling you, Tommy, they're not going to be an easy opponent. Let's see. Jay says, when is your live stream with the Rams? Are you going to talk to Rams House or which one? Yeah. So I'm going to keep that close. I'm not sure. There are a few fans I have in mind to talk to who represent that LA Rams fan base. Most likely it's going to be let's see, it's only the first week of July right now. I would just say it'll be this month for sure. It'll be this month for sure. We got to make sure we can get it all scheduled. But yeah, definitely be a Rams fan or maybe 2 Rams fans sometime this month. That's for sure. Let's see. Monica says that was not my prediction. That's Vegas odds. Okay. So that's Vegas odds for the for the division winner. Okay. Niners, Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals. Okay. I can see that. I'm surprised the Seahawks aren't up higher. I think, I know the Seahawks, their defense is a question mark, but there's no doubt they got the best quarterback in the division. Let's see. Stud says, let's roast your upcoming Ram guest. That's funny. Yep. And Vegas knows what they're doing. That's for sure. But shout out to everyone who joined me in the stream. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining Jay and the Bay YouTube channel. Appreciate it. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. 49ers first take. What's good? Thanks for coming into the stream. I'm just about to end it. But Mr. Tanaka was excellent. And yeah, man, I have nothing but good things to say. And I guess I'll leave it like this. Thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. See you guys in the next live stream, most likely to be this week on a Saturday night. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.